What do you think? I think we gonna kill. Y'all kill?
What happened to your lucky hat?
The old beater. Dude, do you want to see it? Let me get it out for you. It's pretty sad. Like the bill just completely broke and like was falling out to the point where like it just didn't even make any sense to wear it anymore.
Identity crisis.
Yeah, it was tough. What's that?
I feel like you should just wear it today, though. Anyway.
Bill, like, it really just became an issue because I can't see it.
See through.
It is actually see. It's the greatest hat because it's not too hot. But I don't know. I had to go back to the backup, which I like this hat too. I've worn this a lot. It's just a little hot.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's identity crisis.
I tried to buy it. I'm trying. If anybody's got one of these or knows of one, please let me know. I'm willing to pay. I need something else like it, but I think it's retired, unfortunately.
Did you know that's Jim Crumley's tree bark?
Jim Crumley.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I as a kid, I used to watch this turkey video that had Rob Keck from NWTF and Jim Crumley. And I remember specifically his name.
He made that camo?
Yeah, he invented the camo.
Okay.
That was like the first like outside the army woodland camo.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
This stuff, I mean, that camo is like so cool to me. I like old style camo. It's really, really neat. Deals where I truly believe there's not going to be anybody back there and there's going to be turkeys back there. Just ease out this ridge, staying pretty separate, and then we'll call into those. Once we get to that high knob up there, we'll call off that, listen for a little bit, and we'll move to the next one, and that'll get us into a whole different world yet. That's what it's, again, what's weird about here is like there could be turkey gobbling like it's just out there, and we can't hear it because it's down and in a bowl. It could be a turkey on the backside of that ridge right there, and we wouldn't hear it.
Let's see what this goes on in here.
Yeah, that's what I feel good about. I'm honestly not worried if there's a turkey there. There's certainly going to be turkeys back there. Hey, let's kill.
We got an hour left to kill a bird. We're gonna climb back up out of this hollow, get to the ridge, strike one up.
It's huge. I think it tops strands. What? Dude, no way. It's different, man. Maybe not. Golly. Could it be the other side?
That base is too big.
I think it's two different bucks.
Some good bucks around.
Don't tell your viewers they start driving from Oregon. Just kidding. Dude, those are two different bucks, I think.
Having two of them though does kind of help you see how big either of them would be.
That's a great whitetail buck.
Day one, Ohio. It's a wrap. Hunted hard till noon and heard one there early on and not another gobbler since. Just the way the cards fell today. But Strand's got to go back. So we've got to drive to the airport. We're going to be the Uber, Turkey Uber. And make a game plan for the morning. Noah's going to get a tag. We'll get him an Eastern. Finish out this trifecta of Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio. But I appreciate Zach. He's so fun to hunt with. Knowledge is unbelievable, and we picked up 2 monster sheds for public land. So huge win. we'll see you guys here in a bit.
That bang setting in.
I went with the rain this morning.
Oh yeah?
And it is just raining fire.
That's total Bobby fuel, isn't it?
I think so. Right now I can just feel it in my head. Good morning, everyone. We're gonna go get in and slip in on this bird that got going last night, and it felt good to hear him talk a lot, because yesterday it was rough. I think we heard 1 or 2 gobbles from about 2 miles away first thing in the morning, and then it was dry. So we split up. Cody's with Warb. They're across the mountain. I don't know. Do you know if they got on anything last night? Or?
I didn't hear anything.
So that'll be kind of the other group today. And then I'm with Zach. And we're going to go try to get this bird killed. And that's about it. So we're going to slip in there and get above him a little bit and see what happens.
Sun gonna come up.
This old sun gonna come up. You think just get on that flat right there? Do you want to get like 20 yards from the edge of it, or? Next down right there. I think we get right past where it next down. It's only like 50 more yards. I think we'll be good. I think so. I think as long as he picked up, we're not gonna run him over. Yeah, I definitely don't want to go past. I think he's on the next one down, but he could be right there. I don't know. So I think that'd be the safe bet. Yeah, let's just get right past. Basically right out there. Right where those trees start. Yep. Last night, we were just sitting and Zach had some editing to do, so he said, take my truck, go see if you can locate a couple birds a little closer to where we're staying and closer to everyone else. So there that bird goes. He sent me 2 trails to walk, one to walk if there's no one there, the other one to walk if there's someone at the first one. He said get to this point and just listen. So last night I got up to this point and it sounded like 1 or 2 firing off, and now we think there's for sure 2. So we just got down to this bottleneck. And then if you look on the Onyx display, it opens up into a flat. That was closer. Yeah. And these birds we think they're just off the end of that flat, so we think we should be able to get them to come right up to this bottleneck. It's the day after opener here, and there wasn't any boot tracks on the trail we took in or anything, so I think we, finally got on a pocket of unpressured birds, and we haven't made a peep yet, and they're growing pretty good. Just let them know we're here. We're ready. We're feeling receptive. A situation where we're like, Zach was saying he might be gobbling too much. It's almost completely light out. He's gobbling a ton, and it doesn't sound like he's flown down yet, so it could just be coincidence. Or it could be that he's gonna be kind of a stubborn one, so.
Probably trying to call a hen up to him.
Yeah. But we'll get him killed even if it takes till noon.
That's right.
That's right. We're gonna try and move up like 120 yards. We know now for sure he's not on this flat, so we feel pretty confident that we'll be able to move up and just get closer and get a better play on him. Sound like the same spot to you? We're just like really trying to pinpoint where this bird is, because at first we thought he was just down this finger, and we think he actually was roosted on this and probably pitched across, and now he's about a quarter of the way up across the draw. So we're almost 100% sure there's a hunter right, but it sounds like he's not even 100 yards below us. But he's across the creek from the bird, so I think we actually might have the leg up. I think we'll circle around the bowl and then drop down on that bird, because that bird, since he pitched, it doesn't sound like he's moved at all. So we're going into prevent defense mode. So we just made the loop around. And something that's super important when you're doing that is, rather than just taking a straight line, especially with turkeys and elk, you're generally going to want to call them uphill. And that's why we made the big loop around, because we thought he was across the draw or hollow, if you're from over here. But we went up on that point and we listened for another 15 minutes just to really try to pinpoint. And using Onyx and the line distance and playing around, just trying to figure, and we figured he was 300 yards from that point. And that puts him right down on a little bench right here. So we came up, and it's almost like triangulating him. We came up on this ridge, and it sounds like he's right in line with where we thought. So now we're just gonna get back on Onyx and figure out the best play of getting down to him, since he is downhill from us and all this timber is pretty open. He's either coming or that other hunter got a little impatient. Either way, that bird's on the move somewhere probably.
So we moved over and got on the same ridge as this turkey. And right as we were about to cross a saddle, and it sounded like he wasn't that far away, he gobbled a couple times. Then we heard a yelp right beside him. We're not sure if maybe that was another hunter, or maybe it was a hen. But since then he went quiet. He might have just called a hen up to him, it's hard to say. He might also called another hunter to him. Still hard to say, but Noah's gonna slide up here to the top. I'm gonna follow him. We're gonna listen, see if we can hear him scratching down there. Probably call, see if he responds, but it's really hard to say what happened right now because he wasn't that far. And we were like, well, let's get set up. And right when we decided to do that, he went quiet. The very last thing we heard after he gobbled, though, was that hen yelp. So maybe he's just down there with the hen.
On the bright side, we heard at least one more bird this morning. We've heard him a couple times, and he's gobbling a normal amount, which is actually good. It doesn't sound like he's moved too much, so I don't know. We've probably heard him 4 or 5 times this morning, so we're just going to go back to the playbook, out and around to the main ridge, and just start working slow. There's a ton of sign in the area, so... And then if we don't strike anything up, then I think we'll move back, see if things have settled down here. Maybe that he was on another end, and he'll be off by then, by that mid-morning, that really good time. So we'll get on another one way or another.
We're in good shape still.
Yeah.
Oh, you got. Yeah, there's 3, I think. I think he's dead on the backside. I think. I'm pretty sure I saw his wing. I'm pretty sure he's dead on the backside. Might have been a damn chick. Yeah, the one had a beard when he was flying. Yeah, you're flopping. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's like super dead right on the backside. Oh man, I might have called you to shoot at Jake. My bad. Hey, visible beard. Guess what? We eat raghorns too. One of them that flew was a longbeard. Okay. So I don't know. It was either a longbeard and 2 jakes or 3 long. Jake. My bad. Do I look upset? That's what it is. Dude, that was an acting scramble. Say what even just happened. You called it, man. I've doubted you 2 times, ever, and both times you were right. We heard a gobble from behind us all morning, and we were like 2 ridges over. And I thought he'd be somewhere in there, so we ended up circling a whole nother bull. And we got up to this ridge, and we both heard scratching down there, but we were just kind of unsure about it. And Zach crawled up to the edge right there. And we just got back to the first tree that had enough room for the both of us. And they all 3 popped over. And just because there was 3 of them, I was wondering if they were Jake's.
I only saw one. That's
Really?
why I said shoot.
Oh, I saw 3.
I thought it was one, because when I was sitting at that tree, I looked down there, I saw one pop up.
Yeah.
Red and white head.
So I saw all 3 of their red heads right here. And I just shot the closest one to the left so I didn't have to swing as far because they popped up a little bit more to the right than I thought. But I could just see from this up and they all had big red heads. But hey. Thanks. You called it.
Dude, I seriously, when I crawled up there and I didn't hear anything and I hit a call loud.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the glass call and nothing.
And I was like, I just heard him walking and I was like, wait. And then I saw a squirrel run. And when I saw a squirrel run, I was like,
I heard one chirp too, and that's why I just kind of figured.
tagged out.
I'm not upset about it. I hope you're not.
I'm not as long as you're not.
Oh man, it's.
I just looked down there and I'm like, there's no way that's not a tom, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
you know, I just saw one bird coming up here.
It only sounded like one bird. And then the first one's head popped up, and then 2 more popped up, and that's why I said, are they Jakes? Because it was 3 of them all in unison like they usually do, you know? And you said shoot him, so I'm like, hey.
I actually don't know if I would have said shoot him had I known there was 3.
Yeah.
But like,
Were you on the one that I shot?
I think so.
It was the furthest one, so it's probably the one you had in line.
I think I had good, like,
Yeah.
right on him.
Yeah. But honestly, like, I don't care. Like, I don't care one bit. For you people at home, say what you will.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't think we just didn't know. It's one of those deals where it could go either way.
Yeah. You know, it's not like shooting a doe on accident or anything. You know, it's just.
Wait, yeah, it's not like you shot a hen.
No.
Dude, I'm shaking actually pretty good. Let me see him.
Did he just drop?
Oh yeah, I thought you missed him because I thought nothing even happened.
This stake with this gun is like 15 yards is like almost too close.
Yeah.
And that's why I was just like,
squeeze, 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 and just make sure I'm right here, because it's this choke at 15 yards. It's like that, which you can tell by his head. It's pretty squashed, but that's the biggest bird Jake I've ever killed.
It's a big Jake. I honestly, like,
And that's why, like, just going off of head size and stuff too, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're all three alike, because the one in the middle was a longbeard, and he had the exact same size head on the one on the left, and right when he flew off, I could see his beard.
the intensity of that moment when I saw him pop up. I saw him pop up coming right out. I mean, by the time I saw him, he was already in gun range for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and something like, I think people don't realize, people think they have to kind of hunt slow or fast all the time and stick to one game plan. I think, like, with efficiency, it's just knowing when to go slow and when to go fast. Crossing that draw, we hauled ass. Then we get up here into a new area, slow way down. You hear anything. I mean, we've heard 25 squirrels today that we slowed down for, just like we did here. Again, this time it just, like, happened to pay off. But honestly, it's nothing other than, like, the experience of knowing exactly when to slow down and when to speed up and what you're safe to do.
The big thing I always think is, like, if you hit a spot that you've already burnt up.
Yes.
Like, for example, we've already called into there.
Yes.
We start to come down the hill, and as soon as we come down the hill, anything between here and where we last called from has already been blown, you know, it's already seen us. And then you just cut that ground fast and you know you're good. Big old Jake.
It's a big Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, the argument could be made until you look at the fan.
First Eastern, boy.
Yeah. How cool. It's funny, like, looking back on it, my first Merriam was a Jake, and my first Rio was a Jake, and now my first Eastern was a Jake. So next we're gonna hit up South Florida. Shoot another one. And especially, like, it's so weird, like, this bird this morning, we had him roosted, I mean, everything. He gobbled, like, would you say it, like, close to 100 times, like, when it's all said and done?
I texted Ben this morning, I said he gobbled hundreds of times.
Yeah. And you try to do everything right, you go so slow, it doesn't work out. Then you pop up here, we call from the ridge top, and they come up to the ridge and they weren't even, like, fully putting out yet or anything, and it's just like, it's crazy how it happens. But if you're patient, like, all day and don't get too rushed or discouraged by the one we blew up this morning.
Oh yeah, the biggest thing is just never hanging your head in turkey hunting, because you never know when you're going to go around the ridge and get another opportunity.
And here too, it's cool because, like, compared to where we were hunting in West Virginia and Kentucky earlier this week that you guys saw, like, it's kind of like out west where it's big spine ridges and huge drainages, and it's like you can locate a bird from 3/4 of a mile away, as you saw with Cody's hunt, but, you know, then there's a 2-hour play to get on him. Here it's like if you hear one, you're, like, in the game already. You know, just because this is just rolling hills. The hills, like, there's not many hills that are higher than the rest of them, so it's not like you can get any, like, super high ground, but it's just like hitting every little pocket. Like, 'cause if you ask me, we were just on that ridge right there, and you can't tell me that if we were on that ridge hitting the crystal call right here that they wouldn't have spouted off, you know? Like, that's what in my head I was thinking, you know? And then
They get tucked down into these bowls.
yeah.
And that's what, remember how I was saying, like, what's so crazy is you'll be, like, really close to one, and all of a sudden you make a move and you hit it from a different angle and they can hear
Yeah.
you.
Or it
I
can,
honestly don't even know that they heard my mouth call the first few times.
Yeah.
Until I hit that crystal call and they were just right down there.
I think they're down on that bottom. You couldn't see them until I moved up onto that flat. But it's just like you get, it's like, you know, it's like elk, you get in that bubble. And, like, that's one thing I always make fun of. Like Cody always says bulls of spring, and I make fun of him because I'm like, they're not the same, whatever. But honestly, like, hunting Easterns is further on that diagram than Merriam's or Rios as far as just how they act. And they're just like, these turkeys live in the woods. Like, you've experienced with Rios and Merriam's, it's like half the time you're just playing the private boundary game, like
They're
trying to
making someone's yard.
pull them across or get them before they get down onto the private. And this is like we've been here for a week and we've seen 2 turkeys in like ag fields, and they're both hens. And back home, it's like, that's all you see. So it's just so cool how they just live in the woods here. Oh, we're done. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet, man.
So if you guys haven't heard yet, we're actually going to give away this gun from the Flyway channel, which is what you're watching this on right now. So to win this gun, I mean, we got notches in it for every bird we've killed with it this year. It's what we're hunting with. It's what we're taking all over the country, beating it up and making sure it's going to work for you guys. So there's a hen right behind us. So we're going to try and get another hunt in because Zach still has an Ohio tag. But if you want to win this gun, all you have to do is click over here and subscribe to the Flyway, and then text turkey to 541-256-2457. And if that's wrong, I'll put the real number right here. But then you could win this gun. I think we're going to give it away in June. So make sure you guys get into that entry. It's free. All you got to do is subscribe and then text turkey to that number. And now we're going to go kill this one.